Confederate capital of Richmond, Virginia, only 95 miles, or about 150 kilometers, from the federal capital in Washington, D.C., the Union's push to capture the rebel city shouldn't have been as hard as it was. Yet the ground between the two was the most fiercely contested real estate of the American Civil War. The Army of the Potomac made 4 attempts to seize Richmond in the first 2 years of the war. The first Battle of Bull Run, or Manassas, was a Union defeat just 4 miles from Washington. The second, George McClellan's Peninsula Campaign, used an amphibious assault to outflank Robert E. Lee. However, McClellan was sent back after the 7 Days Battle. And General John Pope then tried and failed again at the second Battle of Bull Run. And finally, of course, the hapless General Ambrose Burnside led the fruitless debacle at the Battle of Fredericksburg. Now, Lincoln felt that he needed to defeat Lee in a decisive battle, and he removed Burnside to the western theater of the war and replaced him with Major General Joseph Hooker. Now, Hooker was known for his hard-living ways as well as his combative nature, both personally and professionally. And with the Army of the Potomac's morale at a low, Hooker set out to reform the force. He brought in better food, improved camp sanitation and the hospitals, reduced corruption among the quartermasters, and called for better drilling of the men by better trained officers. Now, learning from the mistakes of Antietam and Fredericksburg, he placed an emphasis on military intelligence and reconnaissance, and he used spies, scouts, and even balloons to follow the movement of Southern troops. And slowly he conceived an audacious plan to move 10,000 cavalry far up the Rappahannock River, where he could cross and move towards Richmond, raiding and destroying Lee's lines of communications and supply. Now, Hooker felt that he would force Lee to abandon his fortified position south of the river, and then Hooker would send his infantry across the river from points to the west and east, hoping to trap Lee in a double envelopment. Now, between Hooker and Lee was an expanse of forest known as the Wilderness of Spotsylvania, and this was an area which had once been broadleaf forest but was now a dense mass of undergrowth, thickets, and swamps. And while it would serve as suitable cover for his infantry, Hooker realized that it would be difficult to move the cavalry and artillery through this thick timber, and that he only had 3 roads, the Orange Plank Road, the Orange Turnpike, and the River Road, to move them on. Where the Orange Turnpike and the Orange Plank Road met was a tiny hamlet known simply as Chancellorsville. So on April 27, 1863, Hooker decided to put his plan into action, and he deployed Major General John Sedgwick's 6th Corps, Major General John Reynolds' 1st Corps, and Major General Daniel Sickles' 3rd Corps across the Rappahannock River near Fredericksburg, and he instructed them to prepare to cross the river in a repeat of the battle that had been fought there the previous December. Now, rather than repeat Burnside's mistake, however, Hooker marched his 130-man army up the Rappahannock west, past its confluence with the Rapidan River. And his intention was to cross the rivers and hook around behind Lee, who was hopefully busy fighting to keep Fredericksburg. Now, on dawn of April the 30th, Sedgwick's forces crossed the Rappahannock with orders to make a demonstration in force. Now entering the area of impenetrable thickets, woodlands, and bogs, General George Meade's 5th Corps led the Union force east towards the junction at Chancellorsville. When Hooker followed up and arrived at the stone house there, he set his headquarters up in the former inn. Now, his plan appeared to have worked, as he'd now implemented this pincher maneuver on Lee's badly outnumbered army. All Hooker had to do was to close the vise, and the road to Richmond would be open to the Union. At the same time, Lee realized the gravity of his situation, and he made the decision to divide his troops. He gambled that Sedgwick's river crossing at Fredericksburg was a diversion, and he sent General Jubal Early and 12,000 soldiers to fend off the Federals on his right flank. He then gathered the larger portion of his army and headed west to battle Hooker. Now, the fighting at Chancellorsville began in earnest on the morning hours of May the 1st. And Stonewall Jackson's 2nd Corps, as well as divisions under Richard Anderson and Lafayette McLaws, marched along the 2 roads between the Zone Church and Chancellorsville. Meanwhile, Hooker, who wanted to get his troops out into the maneuverable open ground and away from the scrublands, began to march eastward. At around 11 a.m., the 2 armies collided along both the Orange Turnpike and the Orange Plank Road. And for 3 hours, the fighting raged until Jackson was able to outflank Fighting Joe Hooker, and the Union troops fell back. Now, seeing that Lee was going to put up more resistance than planned, Hooker was forced to reassess the situation and try to come up with a plan to beat the Confederates. However, Lee had seized the offensive, and he spent the evening with Jackson, coming up with a plan to outflank his northern foe. And in one of the Civil War's most audacious moments, Lee split his army again, sending Jackson's entire Second Corps on a long serpentine route along little-used roads and trails through the thickets of the region. Now, Lee's hopes were that Jackson's maneuver would surprise the Yankees and crush Hooker's right flank. So on the morning of the 2nd, Stonewall Jackson set off with 30,000 men on this long circuitous route. And at the same time, Lee remained behind, sending occasional parties of skirmishers forward to harry Hooker's line and convince the Federals that the rebels still had a dangerous force right in front of them. Now, reports did begin to trickle in from the Union scouts that a sizable number of Confederate troops were shifting around the line to the south and west. And Union General Dan Sickles sent out an infantry patrol that intercepted Jackson's rearguard near the Catherine Iron Furnace. However, the rebel troops did fend off the skirmishers, and Sickles decided not to pursue them. And when the overconfident Hooker heard of this troop movement, he brushed it off as an indication that Lee was actually retreating. Now, at about 2 p.m., Jackson finally arrived directly opposite Hooker's unprotected right flank, and he carefully began to arrange his forces into 3 successive battle lines. At 5:30 p.m., he ordered his men to charge, and the subsequent attack was one of the greatest achievements of one of the Confederacy's most skilled generals. The unprepared Union troops, who were preparing their evening meal, and suddenly faced a storm of Southern soldiers screaming the famous rebel yell, who were bursting through the undergrowth and attacking. Now, this assault lasted until it simply became too dark to fight anymore, and the shattered Federal right flank had been pushed back nearly 2 miles to Chancellorsville. After darkness fell, Jackson and 9 of his men rode forward to examine the Union lines. And as they were returning to their own lines, the pickets of the 18th North Carolina Regiment mistook the general's party for Yankees, and they let loose a volley of musket fire. Jackson was hit with 2 musket balls in the left arm and 1 in the right hand. He was then taken behind the lines, where his arm was amputated and buried. And unfortunately, he developed pneumonia and died a week and a half later. Jackson's mantle of leadership passed to Cavalry Commander Jeb Stuart. And out of communications with Lee, the brash Stuart decided the course of action was to press the attack the next day in an attempt to reunite his forces with Lee. At dawn on the 3rd of May, Stuart's first order of business was to send James Archer's brigade against a Union artillery battery that was ensconced in a high position known as Hazel Grove. Now, Hooker, who didn't realize the importance of that position, had ordered these same artillery there to limber up and pull back. And thus, when the Confederates surged up the hill, they found the Union batteries already packing up. And the rebels were able to quickly storm this position, and they captured several guns and prisoners, and then turned the cannons back on the Union line. Now, while Stuart's Second Corps moved from the west towards Hooker's headquarters at Chancellorsville, the First Corps, who had remained behind with Lee on the previous day, moved in from the east. And as the Confederates closed in, the Federals fought desperately as they fell back. At 9:15 that morning, Hooker was leaning against a wooden pillar at his Chancellorsville headquarters when a Confederate shell shattered the colonnade several feet above his head. And the Union general was immediately struck unconscious, and his staff began to fear that he was actually mortally wounded. He did, however, regain his senses after about half an hour, and he mounted his horse to indicate that he was still well enough to lead. Now, a number of his subordinates reported later that his actions were pretty erratic and that he was still suffering from some sort of head trauma. And this may explain why the generally bold and impetuous Fighting Joe Hooker became more apprehensive, and he fed his troops into the battle in a more piecemeal fashion, disregarding pleas from his corps commanders to throw their soldiers into the fight and utilize the Union's huge numerical advantage. About an hour later, with Hooker and his Yankees retreating, the battle appeared to be evolving into a mopping-up action, and Lee's jubilation was short-lived when word reached him that Sedgwick had crossed the Rappahannock and was now breaking through Jubal Early's defenses back in Fredericksburg. So Lee force-marched Cadmus Wilcox's Alabama Brigade back towards Fredericksburg, where they encountered at about 3:30 that afternoon Sedgwick's troops at Salem Church. After a pretty hard fight, the Union troops were eventually forced back to a position west of town. The next day, on May the 4th, Lee arrived to help Early deal with Sedgwick, who was now fortified just west of town. and they would spend the rest of the day pushing the Union back across the river, but the Confederates eventually had to halt due to general exhaustion and a heavy rainfall. Now, Hooker still had a strong defensive position to the northwest, and he still had numeric superiority over Lee, with a fair number of his troops still in fresh condition. So when he called a council of war with his corps commanders to decide what to do, most of them voted to remain on the field and fight. Instead, Fighting Joe decided to retreat, much to his officers' chagrin. And with that, the powerful Army of Northern Virginia slunk back across the Rappahannock, concluding this failed campaign. Now, out of the 97,000 Union soldiers that had been present at the battle, there were 14,000 casualties. And of the 57,000 Confederates, there were about 10,000 casualties. And while Lee had won a pretty stunning victory, he'd also lost General Thomas Stonewall Jackson. Now, Lincoln kept Hooker on for another month. However, his confidence with the general was beginning to erode. He replaced Joe Hooker with General George Meade on June the 28th of 1863. And 3 days later, Meade would have his own chance to meet up with Robert E. Lee at a sleepy Pennsylvania town called Gettysburg. So this week we've got Chancellorsville, and it was originally designed by Charles S. Roberts for Avalon Hill Games in 1961. And it's one of the earliest hex-based war games, as was D-Day, which was also published the same year. Now, a second edition was updated by Randall Reed in 1974, and it's generally these rules that I'll be using in this playthrough. Now, both the editions of Chancellorsville have been widely criticized due to the bad maps, the unbalanced gameplay, and artillery basically acting like tanks. And because of the time period when Chancellorsville was created, as well as some of the design decisions made during its development, the game has a lot of rules that are cumbersome and clumsy. And I've implemented more standard house rules in my playthrough, based off of more common wargaming rules for standard hex and counter war games. And I've done this to make Chancellorsville flow just a little more smoothly, particularly when I'm playing solo today. Now, each hex on the map board represents a distance of a little more than a mile. And you'll notice on the counters there's a combat strength and a movement allowance. And the combat strength represents the offensive and defensive strength of a unit expressed in strength points. And the movement allowance represents the maximum distance a unit can move in a turn over clear terrain, and this is expressed in movement points. Now, movement over various other types of terrain can cost more movement points per hex crossed, and this is all noted on the terrain effects chart. There's also a time record chart for tracking game turns and a combat results table for resolving combat. Sequence of play is pretty standard. The game's divided into 21 turns, and these turns are divided into a Union player segment followed by a Confederate player segment. And the segments are then further divided into 5 phases. And first we have a Union rally phase, and this is where all disrupted units that are with or adjacent to a Union leader can attempt to rally and remove the disruption status. And this is a homebrew rule. Next is a Union movement phase, where the Union player moves all, some, or none of their units, and they can also emplace pontoon bridges during this time. Third, there's a Confederate defensive artillery fire phase, where the Confederate player's artillery can attack Union units within 2 hexes. Fourth, a Union offensive artillery phase, where the Union player's artillery can then attack Confederate units within 2 hexes. And finally, the regular combat phase, where all Union units adjacent to enemy units have to attack. Now, the Confederate player then repeats this process, except that Phase 3 is now a Union defensive artillery phase, and Phase 4 is now a Confederate offensive artillery phase. And after both of these segments, the turn counters move to the next turn on the record chart, and the process begins again. Now, movement is always optional, and units can move up to their maximum movement point allowance. Different hexes have different movement point costs to enter, which are based on the terrain type. Now, I ignore the double road movement rules as instructed in the game rules. Instead, I count all roads as 1/2 movement point, irregardless of the terrain that they cross. And this makes combinations of on- and off-road movement much easier to track, and it aligns with standard wargaming rules. Now, stacking in this game is very rigid, and it applies at all times during a movement phase. So the Union player is limited to 2 units of any kind in any hex at any time, and the Confederate player is limited to 22 strength points. It's a weird system, but I can live with it. Now, headquarter units, pontoons, and assault boats don't count towards the stacking limit. And units can move through the hexes of other friendly units as long as they don't exceed the stacking limit in that hex. If a unit's forced to move into a friendly hex and it exceeds the hex's stacking limit, then that unit is eliminated from the game. Also, units cannot enter the hexes of enemy units, and if they enter the zone of control of an enemy unit, that is the 6 hexes around that unit, they have to stop, and they can't move any further that turn. However, if a unit starts its movement phase in an enemy zone of control, it can move out of that zone of control, but it can't re-enter any other enemy zone of control during that same turn. Finally, only 1 unit at a time can end its movement and stack on an emplaced pontoon bridge. Now, in the redesign of the game, Randall Reed said in an article in General Magazine that he was trying to reproduce this game as a D-Day across the Rappahannock. Because of this, river crossing and amphibious warfare becomes fairly important. Now, I consider the entirety of a hex that contains a river hex, and units can't exist on the banks of that river. Otherwise, it quickly becomes pretty unclear on who is where along the banks of the river. And there are 4 different ways to cross the Rappahannock and Rapidan rivers in the game. First, they can swim. Believe it or not, this has swimming rules. And headquarters and cavalry units can swim. So Joseph Hooker can put on a suit and swim across the Rappahannock. Now, the unit enters the river hex, and then it ends all movement. And then in the next friendly movement phase, that unit can move off the river at their normal movement allowance, or move up or down the river 1 hex. Now, units swimming a river can't attack enemy units, and they defend at half strength. All combat units can also cross at fords, and a unit enters the ford hex from one of the 2 approach hexes, and those are the 2 hexes at either end of the ford symbol, and at that point it ends all movement. Now, in the next friendly movement phase, the unit can move off the ford hex by moving to the opposite approach hex and continuing normal movement. Now, only 1 unit can cross a ford at any one time, and units crossing at a ford attack and defend at half strength. Now, headquarters and infantry units can cross in assault boats, and the assault boat counter moves from a road hex or a clear hex, those are the only 2 types of terrain that they can move through, to an adjacent river hex, and it ends all movement at that point. Now, in the same movement phase, an infantry or headquarters unit can also enter the river hex containing the assault boat and end their movement there. Now, in the next friendly movement phase, the combat unit can do one of the following. It can move off the assault boat across the river and continue normal movement. It can remain on the assault boat in the same hex, or it can move 1 hex downstream, unless that hex is occupied by another unit. And units in assault boats attack and defend at half strength. Finally, all units can cross on pontoon bridges. Now, when moving, a pontoon bridge can only move through clear and road hexes. Pontoon bridges do have to be emplaced before they can be used to cross the river, and they cannot be emplaced until a friendly combat unit occupies the opposite shore land hex adjacent to the river hex in which the pontoon bridge is to be emplaced, and no unit can use the bridge on the turn of emplacement. Now, in the same movement phase in which a friendly unit occupies the opposite shore, the pontoon bridge is emplaced by simply moving it from an adjacent road hex or clear hex to the river hex. And in my rule system, units on pontoon bridges can attack and defend at full strength. Now, while units can't retreat across rivers by swimming or with assault boats, I do allow them to retreat across a pontoon bridge. Now, the Confederate player can never capture the bridges or the boats, though they can use an emplaced bridge. They can destroy these units by having a combat unit next to them at the end of a regular combat phase. This destroyed unit can't be adjacent to any enemy units. If these conditions are met, the unit is simply removed from the game. Now, if a bridge or boat is on its own without any combat units, and you want to fire on them with artillery, the bridge or boat has a combat strength of 1. And if it's attacked and forced to retreat, they do so as normal units. However, they can only retreat through clear or road terrain. Now, as I mentioned before, if a unit enters the zone of control of an enemy unit, they have to stop their movement. And all units in an enemy zone of control are required to attack during their combat phase. These units can leave an enemy zone of control at the start of their movement, and zones of control don't extend into or out of woods, forests, or forts. And units in these hexes are not required to attack, though if they do, they have to attack all enemy units in their entire zone of control. There's 2 types of combat in the game. There's artillery fire and regular melee combat. Regular combat occurs when units are adjacent to enemy units. Now, with the exception of units in woods, cities, and forts, it is mandatory. No unit can attack more than once per turn, and no unit may defend more than once. Though if several friendly units are attacking several enemy units, the attacker is free to divide their forces to attack each enemy unit as they desire, as long as they account for attacking all enemy units. To resolve combat, you determine the total strength points of the involved attacking units, and you compare it to the total strength points of the defending units. Then note the effects of terrain on the strength of the units as per the terrain effects table, and then you compare the modified attacker points to the modified defender points, determine a ratio, and round down in the favor of the defender. Now, odds greater than 6 to 1 are treated as 6 to 1 odds, and less than 1 to 4 automatically result in the attacker being eliminated. Once you've located the corresponding column on the combat results table, you roll a d6 and note the results of combat. Now, if combat results in an AE or a DE, the attacker or defender respectively are eliminated. If it's a DR, all defending units have to retreat the number of hexes that are listed after the DR, so that's usually going to be 2 or 3. And they can't retreat through river or enemy-controlled hexes. Now, unlike the rules as written, I allow them to retreat across pontoon bridges and streams. If you go through and look at the streams on the map, this seems logical. Some of these aren't really very big. Now, units can also retreat through friendly units, but they can't exceed the stacking limitation when they move through that friendly hex. If they do exceed the stacking limit, then that retreating unit is eliminated. You'll also notice a lowercase d1, d2, d3 after the uppercase retreat indication. And these mean that the attacker or defender is disrupted. And they have to retreat, and the number indicates the number of turns that they're disrupted. Now, these rules as written require a fairly cumbersome system of keeping track of units' disruption scores every turn. And after playing the game with and without these rules, I've found that they add very little to the gameplay. So instead, I assume that all units are either disrupted or undisrupted after combat, and that the disrupted units have to be rallied back to normal status during the rally phase of the game, which I'll discuss in a little bit. Now, disrupted units can only move 1 hex per turn, and they can't cross rivers except on pontoon bridges. And they can also not move into an enemy zone of control. And if an enemy unit moves into the hex adjacent to them, the disrupted unit can retreat once before combat, and the attacking unit cannot move into that vacated hex. Now, if the retreating disrupted unit is attacked again, it defends with a strength of 1, and if the result is a second disruption, then that unit is automatically eliminated. Now, the rules as written have some very specific things that have to occur before you can advance into terrain that's been vacated by a retreating unit. I say if a unit is forced to retreat and leaves that hex vacated, the unit that's quote-unquote won that combat is able to move into that vacated hex, and they can only move 1 hex. Now, attacking artillery can fire in either the offensive fire phase or the regular combat phase of a turn, but not both. And defending fire, however, can attack in both the defensive fire phase and the regular combat phase. Now, artillery units that have fired in a turn and are in an enemy zone of control are not required to attack during the regular combat phase. However, if there are no other friendly units to attack that enemy unit, the artillery unit is destroyed. All artillery have a range of 2 hexes as long as there's no woods, hill, or city terrain intervening. However, the target can be in a city, hill, or wood terrain and still be fired upon. Now, combat units, both enemy and friendly, also block line of sight. But remember, artillery can always fire into an adjacent hex. Now, artillery fire attacks are carried out just like normal combat attacks. Any results that affect the attacker are ignored, even if they're firing from an adjacent hex. Now, during an offensive artillery phase, they can be used to supplement an ally's melee attack. Now, forts double the defensive combat strength of the unit in a hex, though per the errata in one of the general magazines, this doubling is not cumulative with other terrain. Also, fortified units are not required to attack adjacent hexes. If they do, they have to attack all adjacent units. And per my house rules, fortifications are destroyed once they're abandoned by all of the units that initially occupied them. Leader units don't exert a zone of control, and if a leader's not accompanied by a friendly unit, it's eliminated if that enemy unit moves either through or adjacent to it. It's also eliminated if any artillery fires upon it when it's alone in a hex. Now, the leader's major purpose in the game is to rally disrupted units, and if a leader unit's in the same hex as a disrupted unit during the rally phase, then that disrupted unit automatically rallies. If a disrupted unit is in a hex adjacent to a leader, you roll a d6, and if the result is lower than or equal to the number of stars of the leader, then the unit successfully rallies and it's no longer disrupted. If they fail the roll, they remain disrupted until the rally phase of the next turn. For purposes of rally rolls, I assume that Hooker and Lee have a rally score of 4. The game occurs over 2 different nights, and each night is broken down into 2 turns. Only movement may occur during the night phase, no attacks are permitted, and units can't move into hexes adjacent to enemy units, though they can leave these hexes. If a unit occupies the same hex during the 2 consecutive night turns, they can also construct a fortification in that hex. Also, to simulate Hooker's strategy of trying to move around and envelop Lee, The Confederate player can't move during the first 2 night turns of the game, and during these turns the Union player may move, but they can't attack. Victory conditions are pretty simple. The Union wins if they have at least a 4-to-1 ratio of combat strength points to the Confederates at the end of the game's last turn. Otherwise, the Confederates win. Confederate units that can't trace a clear path, that is, not through a zone of control of Union units, don't count towards this ratio. Confederate units north of the Rapidan and Rappahannock rivers count double their normal values. Hey folks, welcome back, and this is Chancellorsville. We'll try to muddle through this one. Let's just take a quick look at the map here. You'll notice that I always forget these little guys down here, these Confederate units, so we got to remember those guys. And I think with A.P. Hill's group, I'm going to try to move around the south here to Spotsylvania Courthouse and keep from being flanked too much by the Union forces. I've got Hooker and his crowd down here, Reynolds, the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, kind of, or 6th, I guess, with Sedgwick. I'll put Sedgwick there. Kind of arrayed along the banks of the Rappahannock. I've tried to keep the pontoon boats back for the time being because they can kind of get in the way. Sometimes units can get bunched up, and then if you're forced to flee, you end up losing units. So that's something I don't want to do particularly for the Union. Confederacy doesn't have a lot to do in this game. You pretty much just have to sit tight and take damage. You probably won't win it anyway, but it'll. We'll see how long we can last. I've actually had them do okay, but by about day 3, end of day 2, they're pretty worn down. Also, I've got these guys up here, Slocum and Howard and Meade and all these guys, and they'll be moving around to the northwest and try to get into position, just like the real battle. Playing this out, it pretty much ends up just like Hooker's plans were, to kind of do a double envelopment. You'll be pushing here hard against trying to get across the Rappahannock, and then the rest of the time we'll be kind of moving around through the woods of the wilderness. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, on the sequence of play, I would note that the thing I do different is I add a rally phase at the very beginning of each player's turn. It won't affect anything the first turn because nobody is disrupted, but it will from then on. So let's go ahead and start up here at the northeast, and pontoons I treat them just like normal bridges, so we can move across here. And I say that each road unit is 1/2. The rules as written have all roads as you can move 8 hexes, or I guess 8 extra hexes on them, and it makes it really hard to determine how you're going to move if you combine movement. Okay, 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And we will just move this column along here. And then I've got to get across the Rappahannock here. So you got two rivers. You got to get across the Rappahannock up here, and then the Rapidan down here. And let's do something here. I was going to follow along, but let's not do that. Let's go back. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. We'll go down here, and we will lay these guys out just a little bit. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Okay. Because I'm going to want to spread these guys out. Okay, here we can go 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we'll follow along here and here. And here, and these guys can move a little faster, so we're going to move him 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12. And then here, Meade will go here, and Griffin will go here. Okay. Down over here. Oh, and these are those night turns. I forgot to get the TRC. This is a special turn, April 29th, night turn. So the Union can move, but they can't attack. So they do their thing. And then down here, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move Couch over to here, and Hooker and his crew will go here. Does he have... Let's move down the line here. Okay, we aren't going to try to assault across yet. And as soon as we can fight, I'll definitely try to pound the Confederate positions here and move these guys back. At that point, then I can start to think about moving assault boats to get these guys across. I've never had anybody swim. That's kind of one of the dumber rules that this has. I don't know why. I just picture, like I say, I picture Hooker in a bathing suit going across the Rappahannock. But okay, and then this guy will go here. Hooker and Hancock will go here. The problem being, I think Reynolds, I'm going to move him up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I'm going to try to get him up to Scott's Dam and the United States Fort. So I don't think I need a lot of units down here. I could move maybe Sedgwick. I think what I'll do here is the plan will be for Sedgwick to move down the Riverside Road and maybe try to get across the Rappahannock down here and get a bridge established. Okay, that I think is turn 1. I think we've done everything we can do, so we'll move to night turn 2. And again, the Union will move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for Reynolds. Hancock there. And again, we can try to, maybe if we get lucky, we can move these guys back a little bit. Okay, these guys can move, so we'll move here. There's 4. Doesn't matter any further. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And here we'll move across. Okay. And then up here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And there. Now, and again, the rules as written say that you cannot, you can only cross one unit can only cross at a time. I don't know. It slows the game down a lot, which I'm not sure why you'd want. It doesn't feel very like you're going to be able to move guys in. It causes the Union to make a real piecemeal feed into the battle. It doesn't quite feel real realistic. So yeah, we'll put him here. We'll just make him go. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. There. Okay, I think that's everybody's move that can move. We'll stay there. We're going to try to sneak around. I'm going to wait until the Confederates move here. I think they'll try to move up here to this place, and then I can try to get down here. So, okay, that's it for the turn. We go to now we can start the real game. It's 6 a.m. So now movement will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Don't know if I want to do that. I'm going to hold tight there. This guy can go across. Well, We'll go down to here. Yeah, we'll stay right there. And then this guy's going to go 2, 4, 6. That's 3, 4, 5.5. Okay. And I can stack those 2. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, 2. Okay, he can go. And we will go ahead and attack Stuart. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. This guy will move here, Reynolds. And now we can go. I think I'll move these guys over here to Brooks and Germana Ford. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then this guy there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. We'll spread them out just a little bit. Get 2 columns going. Okay, now then, over in this section, all I really want to do right now is try to hit Fredericksburg. So I'm going to shell Fredericksburg. Let's start with, now, like I say, I always count the river hexes as river. They're entirely river. So I ignore these banks. It gets kind of crazy. So this guy, if this was blocking here, for instance, he couldn't move around there because, yeah, like I say, this map is beautiful, but it makes the river hexes just a little crazy. So, okay, so I've got 3 and 6. Oh, defensive first. Okay. Can't do anything there because nobody's in range. Now I've got 2 there and 2 there. So I've got 4 to 6. So 1 to 2 odds. This is the Confederates that are doing their defensive fire with a 5. Wait, did I say 1 to 2 odds? 2, 4 to 6. Yeah. So 1 to 2 odds, and I rolled a 5. And it's a DR2. Okay. Well, it'll slow down the Union. They won't be able to shell me that turn, which is good. 2 to 11. That'd be 1 to 5 odds. So that can't do that one. And that's the only, let's see, is there, okay, 2 to 9. 1 to 4 odds. This isn't going to matter, so. Okay, now this guy is going to go 12 to 4, but that's doubled. So 12 to 8 or 1.5 to 1 odds. And we roll a 4. 1.5 with a 4 is a DR2. So these guys move 1, 2. And I do not count streams as, I'm not counting these streams and runs. According to rules as written, these would be, if you had to retreat across these, you would be eliminated. And that just seems really pretty draconian. I guess you could also, since the Confederacy can move, they can have 15 strength points in a hex, so they could have moved out this way, but this will work fine. Okay. And then down here, I have a 14 to 3, 6. So 14 to 6 is 2 to 1 odds. We roll a 2, 2 to 1 with a 2 is an AR2, which isn't going to affect artillery at all. So the AR stands for artillery now. Okay, that is the Union. I think the Union's done everything they can do. Now the Confederacy finally gets to do something. So let's just start down here so I don't forget these guys. And we are going to go cross country. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. That's all the further I can go there. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then these guys are going to move to where the action is. I really need to get these artillery moved in place. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we'll move this guy also. And this guy will go here and here. This guy will move back into place. I don't see a real advantage. 1, 2. He's got to stop there. And since I'm abandoning this fortress, we'll just delete it. Okay. I need to get the I need to get I may be able to shell those guys as they come across. Okay. Now we'll move this guy forward. Mahoney will stay there. Jackson, I need to be stacked with some guys. So we're going to stack Jackson here and let's see, let's move early out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're going to move Lee here. Those guys will stay there. Those guys will stay there. Longstreet. Oh. I need to move Longstreet up. Okay, and kind of open this up a little bit. So again, in case I'm driven back. Okay. Oh, I forgot to fight for Stuart here. I guess we'll go back to the previous turn and let the Union fight Stuart. So they had 6 to 6, but that's 1 to 2 because he's fighting in the woods. So 1 to 2 with a 5 is a DR2. Okay, 1, 2, and this guy will move in at Chancellorsville. I'll let one unit do it. That's just kind of following. Like I say, I'm following kind of standard wargaming practice here. Okay, all the moves have been done. Now we can do a little bit of firing. First of all, the Union gets to fire at us. And this 14, I'll go against these guys. And I'm going to just concentrate all the fire I can. So 14 and 23 to 6. So 23 to 6 is 3 to 1 odds. We roll a 2 at 3 to 1, and we get a DR2. Okay, so 1, 2, and that leaves this fortress deleted. Okay, here we've got a 3 to 3 to 8. That's 1 to 3 odds. We roll a 5 at 1 to 3, which was good. That's a DR2. 1, 2. Okay. That will leave us open to try to get a guy across. Okay, now the Confederacy gets to go. I got 5 and 7 against 5. So 1 to 2 odds. We get a 4. Wait. 5, 7, 1 to 1 odds. I'm sorry, 1 to 1 with a 4. 1 to 1 with a 4 is a DR2. Okay. Any chance we can kind of scoot those guys back is a good one. Okay, and then here we have 2, 5 to 9. 1 to 2 odds with a 4. AR2, so nothing. Here we've got, these guys are out of range. 2, 4 to 11. So 1 to 3 odds with a 3. 1 to 3 with a 3 is not gonna, that's an attacker effect, so nothing there. Okay, and I should have moved Stuart back, but that's okay. We'll pick on him, because what he should have done is he could have gone here and then 2, 4. He could have kind of moved around and tried to get that guy. That's okay. Okay, and I think that's the end of the turn. I think everybody's gone. Nobody's adjacent, so okay. We go to turn 9 o'clock, and in this turn, we'll start here with our Confederate units. Actually, I'm going to start here. We'll try to get we're going to try to get a salt boat on the water, and we'll get Whipple on there, and Sickles will be on there. We'll move I'm not going to move a pontoon up yet. And I'm going to move this guy up here. And this guy up here. And we'll move that pontoon here. I think we can, that'll give us some space. I think Sickles may be in trouble if he's forced back, but I think we can make it. We really need to pound this position here. Okay, at the same time, this guy moves back here. And early, there's one. Is there a okay, Greg's with him, so yeah, you want to keep your artillery together with an infantry unit, or they get wiped out pretty easily. So there's 1, 8. Well, we'll push him here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, he can make it. Now, Stuart, 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8, and then 1, 2, 3. That's 1.5, 2.5. Okay, now we've got Stuart surrounded. Here I'll go 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Hey, we surrounded early. And let's see, this guy will go here. Howard is going to come down here. And then these guys are going to go 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then actually he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this guy I'll do is 1, 2, 3, 4. Geary will come here. This guy will come here. This guy can go 2, 4. He can go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And Slocum will be down here. Okay, that's those guys. Gonna stay put here for just a little while. Move Sedgwick into place a little bit. Yeah, move Sedgwick over here. Nope, we're gonna stay right there. We're gonna try to fool him. Okay, we've got those guys. There's only 2 assault boats, so and I think everybody's gone. Now then, the Confederates can blast away here. So we're going to do our 5. I'm going to fire at Sickles. Well, I guess we can hit adjacent. So, and Sickles is at 3 because he's at half strength. So we have 1 to 1 with a 1. Okay, 1 to 1 with a 1 is an attack, so nothing there because it's artillery. Okay, over here, 2 to 4 to 9, 1 to 4, nothing to do there, nothing there, nothing there. 2, 4 to 6, 1 to 2 with a 5. 1 to 2 with a 5 is a DR2. He goes back again. And then here we have 2, 4 to 11, 1 to 3. With a 2, nothing. Okay. And that ends the Confederate defensive fire. Now the Union gets to do their offensive fire. And we're going to try to hit him here. So we've got 9, 10, 11, 12. And 14 is 26 to 10. So 2 to 1 odds with a 6. 2 to 1 with a 6 is a DR3, D2. Okay. 1, 2, 3. And now both of these guys are disrupted. So I'm just going to put a little 1 there. Okay. And we are going to advance into that with Sickles. Okay. Now, over here. Nothing. Okay, we can fight here with Reynolds. And he's got 6, 12, 15 to 8. 1.5 to 1 odds. We roll a 2 at 1.5, and that's an AR2. Let's see, 1, 2. 2, 1, 2. Okay, now we give everybody disrupted. 1, 1. 1, 1. And bad die rolls can really make this game tough. Okay, here we've got 3, 6, 2, 12. So 1 to 2 odds there with a 3 AR2. Okay. 2. 1, 2. Okay. That's, I think, everybody there. And we can... I guess it's time now for the Confederates. Okay, so the Union position has kind of fallen apart a little bit. I'm going to first... Oh, I got to do a rally first. Stewart, I don't think he has anybody to rally. These guys have to rally. and they're next to Longstreet. Longstreet is a 3-star general, so we roll, and we get a 1 and a 2. So these two guys rolled under 3. So we'll just change this to delete it and delete it. I don't think anybody else is disrupted. Okay, now the Confederates can move. And what we're going to do is we're going to go here and here and here, and he's going to go here, and I'm going to move these guys here. I think we're going to take advantage of the situation. And I don't think Anderson will move up. I think we can stay put here. And let's see, everybody here looks good, except I need to get rid of Sickles. Now the good side is I can hit him from all sides. Now I'm going to assume this hex is all river, so I can't do much there. I will move this guy into place and this guy into place. And I'll move Longstreet up. And this guy can stop there. Okay. That's it, I think, for everybody. Now, the Union overextended itself out here, so let's see what happens. Oh, first of all, we got to do our firing, so we're going to try to help Sickles out. Sickles has got a 9 to 4, so 2 to 1. 2 to 1 with a 2. AR2, okay, nothing there. Here we've got a 3, nobody's in range, and here we have a 7, 14 to 2. So that's 6 to 1 odds. And we get a 3 DR. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Well, they didn't get wiped out. And we did kind of save Sickles a little bit. Okay. So these guys are going to go 2 to 1 against the assault boat. Well, I'm not sure whether you could. I can think these guys would be back across the river, so I'm not sure that they're going to just hang out there. I don't think Sickles. If I guess the rule would be if Sickles can't use these guys to retreat through, then the assault boats would be fine. So. Okay, 2, 4. Oh. Is there any more? Oh, he can't do anything. He can't do anything. He can't do it. Okay, now we can do. Yeah, the Confederates can go. Oh, first of all, we got to do our artillery. So there's our 5 to 9. So 1 to 2 odds with a 3. Nothing. Okay. Actually, this should be, it's still going to be 1 to 2 odds, so nothing there. Now we can attack Sickles, finally. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and Sickles is doubled to 12. So 1 to 2 odds. We roll a 3 at 1 to 2, and it's an AR2. Ouch. So everybody goes back 2 hexes. Change disruption level 1, 1. Okay, this guy goes back 2, 1, 1. And this guy goes back 2, 1, and 1. And the question is, does Sickles stick around? These guys will not be able to move. I think I'm going to move forward just because I need a little bit of breathing room here. Okay, here we got 2, 4, 2, 1. Actually, that's going to be 2 since he's in the woods. So 2 to 1 odds with the 6. 2 to 1 with the 6 is a DR3. Any sort of DR is going to eliminate this guy. And here we have 3 to 4, 1 to 2, with a 5. DR2. So this guy's moved back. Can he move there? He can't. He could move there, but again, technically these are river hexes, so I think he can't move back any further. I'm going to call that a delete. Whoops, wrong guy. I'm sorry, this guy, DR2, and he can't move back anywhere, so he is eliminated. Oh, it's got the wrong guy. It's always kind of confusing when you're doing that. So this guy moves into the vacant hex. And then I've got a 6 to 2, 3 to 1 odds with a 4. DR2, nowhere. So Reynolds is eliminated. And we delete him. I'll move in there and take the road. Okay, that ends turn 2. I don't think I moved these guys. Well, they were resting. So let's go with our to noon. And the Union gets to go. We'll move him here and here. We will come across on this guy. And then Sickles I'm going to move here. And I'm going to drop a pontoon there. Okay. We'll move an assault boat here. And we'll move Sedgwick down here. And these guys here. And a pontoon here. And we'll keep him in the middle. Bernie, or this guy will move up here. Bernie will move to Falmouth. Okay. Let's see. We got to get some guys across the river here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we'll move these guys here. There's these guys. Our plan kind of fell apart out here. 2, 3, 4. Three, 4, 5, 6. Need will come down here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll be right behind him here. Okay. Yeah, these guys they're not in good shape. Okay, I think that's it for Union movements. So now we can see if they get to attack anybody. So nobody's in range. Now he's in range here, so he's got 9 to 5. So 1.5 with a 3 is an AR2, so nothing. 6 to 8, 1 to 2 with a 1, nothing. Nothing there, nothing there. Okay, I think that's everything. So that's the Union movement. Confederate movement, well, we've got a problem. So we are going to send half our guys back. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And here we're going to go against Sickles again. Oh, I forgot to check my rallies. So we've got a rally here, and this is Longstreet, so we'll go anything that's 3. So one of these guys, Wilford, we'll say is rallies. Okay, and is there any officers, generals? Nobody. Lee. Okay. And Jackson here, he can rally these two. Okay, one of them rallies. Oh, no, he's with an officer, so that's, there we go. So we don't need to check since he's stacked. Okay. Okay, there we go. Now, these guys can move. 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. These guys can't do much. These guys can. And he can't do much. He can move in. Okay. Now, down here early, let's see, Stewart. I think we're trying to get his guys to get this guy. 2, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, Stewart will move down here. He's 1, 1.5, 3.5. Okay. And Nelson and Wilcox will stay put. Okay, that's it. Okay, Confederates can go. First of all, Union gets to go. So we're gonna 9 to 5. 1.5 with a 4 is a DR2. So we move him back. Okay. He's got a 14 to 2, 7 to 1, or 6 to 1 with a 2. DR3. 1, 2, 3. Now this guy will automatically yeah, we'll just disrupt him for the time being. There, I put that on there just so that we can see. Okay, now 6 to 8, 1 to 2 with a 1, nothing. It's always worth checking to see if we can knock that guy back. Okay, now the Confederacy can go, and we're going to attack there. We've got 2 and 2 there, and 4 and 6. So we've got 6 to 11, 1 to 2 with a 5 is a DR2. So this guy moves back 2. Okay, now let's figure out what this battle here. First of all, we got to go against these guys. Kershaw was back here. He can't move. But Wofford is going against a 2, and this guy's on the water, so he's got a 3.5. So 1 to 2 odds with a 2 is an AR2. Well, that was worth a shot. 1, 2. And we will disrupt him. Okay, then here we've got 5 and 9 is 14, and Sickles is sitting at a 12. So 1 to 1 with a 2. So 1 to 1 with a 2 is an AR2. So we move back 2 and disrupt. And then 1, 2, and We'll disrupt and disrupt. Okay. Down here, early is going with a 4-2-2. 2-1 with a 4 is a DR2 with a disruption. So these guys have been disrupted, so they're gone. Okay. Well, out in the west, they're doing a pretty good job of keeping the Union from getting in. Okay, that's the end of the turn. And we go to the 3 p.m. turn. And the Union gets to go again. So what are we going to do? Okay, let's start moving guys into place. Howard, I need to get him. Let's see, 1. Oh, we need to figure out who is disrupted. I don't think anybody over here is disrupted right now, so we're good there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 4.5, 7.5. But that would be, he can't make it that far, so. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 2.5, 4.5, 6.5. Hold on a second. Let's try that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't get there. 1, 2, 2.5, 4.5. Okay, well, we'll just have to. Okay, there's 2, 3, 4. 2, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He can stack there. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's here. He's here. Meade. 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. He's on there. Okay, let's see. And then these guys get to move off. I'm going to move right here. And Sedgwick, and then Doubleday will move in. Actually, he's going to move here. And the pontoon will move here. Okay. And Burnham will move here. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. I guess you can move around. Yeah, the stacking is odd too, but okay. This guy moves off the boat. And, oh, these guys can't move across on the boat. I keep forgetting our artillery can't use those boats. They've got to use a pontoon. I could move here and then move a pontoon down the bank. Well, no, I don't think I can do that. So we'll move forward here. I'm going to move Hancock. I'm going to move this guy. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's just see how we do. On second thought, I'm going to keep these guys back. I think we'll, until we can thin those guys out, we're just going to hang back. Okay, that's the end of the Union movement. So now let's go ahead and do some fighting. Let's see. These guys can't fight. These guys can't fight. Nobody here He's got 2. Yeah, there's 2. That's going to be 6 to 11, 1 to 2 with a 1, so nothing there. Okay, now the Union can't do anything here. They can go 6 to 8, 1 to 2 with a 2, nothing. And then here, okay, we can just make a straight assault here. So we've got a, let's start with him. Newton here has a 7 to 1, or 7 to 1, so we roll a 6, so easily eliminates him. So, whoops. And delete. And we will move forward. And here we have a 9 to 3, actually 9 to 6. So 1.5 to 1 with a 5 is a DR2. So moves back 2, and he is disrupted. So 1 and 1. Okay. Anybody else? Nope, those guys are down there. Okay. Now we can try to go here. I think we can eliminate Howard. That's the first thing we want to do. 2, 4, 6. That's fine. And then we'll come around here to Howard. And Early is going to go 2, 3, 4. Oh, I forgot to do my rally. Let's go back and rally. Those guys moved. Let's see. Lee and Wofford. Let's see if Wofford makes it. Wofford gets 5, so it doesn't. Longstreet and his guy can make it. I appreciate you guys' patience with me on this. Okay. Longstreet can try to rally Wofford and does not. Okay. Longstreet can rally Barksdale and Alexander. Nope. 5 and 5. And that's it. Let's see. Is there any other officers down here? Nope. Oh, these guys are in bad shape. Okay. And let's see here. We're going to take a defensive position here. I don't think 1, 2, let's go here. Okay. I can try to get these guys while they're on the pontoon bridge. Actually, they're not halved. Or is that a pontoon or is that that's a salt boat? Okay, so yeah, they're halved. Okay. I'll move here. Here, this guy can move away. And Jackson will move over here. Lee will move here. Longstreet will move here. This guy will move here and here. Okay, and then these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So we're going to really try here against him. Got to hold the line here. Jackson's going to try to save the things over here. And we've got some combat over here. So first of all, Howard is removed. He got out by himself. Okay, now we have 3 to 4. Okay, 1 to 2 odds with a 1. And I'll shoot. 1, 2. Was that 3? AR3, yeah, 3. And he is disrupted. Okay. Over here we have a 2. That's a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I forgot to. Okay, Union can fire back at these guys, but nothing there. Okay, so we've got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to 7. Oh, okay. 1-to-1 odds with a 6. Okay, 1-to-1 with a 6 is a DR2. So this guy is forced to move back, but he can't move back without being in a zone of control. So he is now deleted. And we move forward. Okay. And that ends the Confederate turn there. Okay, that gives us... So we go to the 6 p.m. turn. And the Union position gets to go. Okay, 1. And at this point, we are going to attack Stuart and let's see, we can go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 4, 5, 6. I can maneuver around. Bernie, I forgot clean about Bernie up here. Let me start over at the end here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Bernie's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I think Couch will come in. Then I don't have to attack. Yeah, I think we're okay. Sickles is here, and he's going to move down here, and then the pontoon I can use now. We can move further here, and then 1. Oops, we'll keep that open. Okay. Hancock, and then over here. Oh, this guy never got a chance to go. Let's do it. 4 to 2. 1-to-1 with a 2. 1-to-1 with a 2. AR2. So he was back 2. And change distribution level to 1 and 1. And everybody's moved. I didn't check any. This guy is not next to anybody at the time, so we don't really worry about disruption. Okay, then these guys can go. And then Doubleday. Let's go 1, 2, go 2, 4. Okay, there we get a line going there. Everybody's moved, I think. Okay, Confederates get to fire. So we've got 2 to... That's not going to have enough. Let's see. Oh, there's one there. Okay. So he can fire 2, 4 to 11. 4 to 11. 1 to 3. 4. Okay, AR, so nothing there. Confederates over here can fire 2 to 6, 1 to 3, nothing. Okay, and here we have a 2 to 14. They can't do anything there, and a 5 to 6, 1 to 2 with a 5, 1 to 2 with a 5, DR2. Well, that 1, 2. So he's back on the. He's back on the pontoon. The issue is we can only stack 1 on the pontoon. Can't go there. That's a river hex. Can't go there. So this guy's eliminated, I think. I would say he has no place to go because it can't stack up there. So, okay. Now then, we've got a 6, 10, 15 to Stuart's 6. So 2-to-1 odds with the 2. 2-to-1 with the 2 is an AR2. Stuart lucked out. Okay. I'll move him here. Okay, over here, this guy gets to go first, and he's got a 9 to, those guys are 9 to 4, 2-to-1, because we got 1, 2, and he's in the woods. So 2 times 2 is 4, so 9 to 4, 2-to-1 odds with a 1. Oh, okay. That's an AR2 with a disruption. Okay, now here we have a 3 to 2, but that's a 4 because he's in a fortress. So 1.5, right? No, 9. I'm sorry, 9 to 4, 2-to-1 odds with a 2-to-1 with a 2 is AR2. Okay, down here we've got a 7, 14 to, and this guy's up on a bluff, so 14 to 2, 4, 14 to 8, 1.5 to 1 with a 5, 1.5 to 1 with a 5, so DR2, DA2, 1, 2, and they're disrupted. 1, okay, and then this guy is 1, 2, he can go here and be disrupted. Perry is disrupted. This is just chaos. Okay, I've learned my lesson. I don't think I want to move forward too much. We're really cramped in here. So 6 to 5, or that's 6 to 10. So 1 to 2 odds with a 2. 1 to 2 is an AR2. Okay, at least I've got some room to breathe here. And okay, so he's disrupted. And that, I think, is it. Is there anything else? Nope. Okay. Okay, now the Confederacy can go. So first of all, let's see who we can salvage. Jackson can salvage Wilcox and Nelson, so he's going to do that. And we're going to get rid of those, and those, and those. Anderson, I don't think... Okay. Lee has Wofford, which he can save. And then there's a 4 for Perry. 4 or less. So Perry makes it. And is there. And Longstreet down here. Well, at least they're coming back. 0, 0, 0. Alexander and Barksdale. We need a 3 or less. Makes it on both of them. This is a very simplified rally mechanism, but and what's even weirder in the original old game, in the original Chancellorsville, is that Roberts put a rule in that there would be 2 zones of control for artillery. It's a really strange kind of system. Okay, so one of the Gordons made it. Or Gordon made it, I guess. And we'll put him back here. Okay. No officers here. And that, now we can go. Okay, so first of all, we really need to hammer. I could try everything I've got against this guy. But he's got 28. He's almost inassailable. Let's go here. And here. this guy's got to go back here. And Longstreet will send Beckham forward. Now, he is across the stream, so we do have that. We'll stay here, and this guy will move backwards. Okay, we can go there. That's good. Oh, this guy. Oh, he's covered. Okay. Let's see who's here. Is there a? He can move another unit in here. We'll move down here. Yeah, here. We'll move here. And let's see. Early has 4. Let's move up here. Okay, I think that's it. So let's start and see what our Union defenses are. This guy is in range here. So we can blast him. 14-1, so that's pretty much that knocks him out. Andrews is gone. And I don't think there's any other Union artillery left. Oh, this guy doesn't have anybody to, any infantry with him, so he's automatically eliminated. So that's that guy. And then over here, Stuart is going to go 3-2 with a 1. Okay, AR2. 1, 2. And here we have a 4-8, 1-2 with a 3. AR2. And yeah, fighting in the woods is tough, but you've got to hold the Union back as long as you can. And then down here against Sickles, I have a 2-4. He's across the stream. Man, that's going to hurt with Whipple. A 4-2, 2-1 odds with a 1. AR2. Okay. 1, 2. He moves back. And oh, we forgot to throw those guys in. Let's go back and redo this. Let's do a redo and just make this fair. Change disruption levels there and there. I forgot about this guy. So there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and this guy fights as 1, defends as 1, so 2. 9-2 is 4-1 odds with a 4. And 4-1 with a 4 is DR3, so Sickles is gone. We can, delete him. And I actually played this earlier where the Union Army did not take a single point of damage. It was crazy. So that, I think, is it. Okay, that's it for the Union. Now, Stuart's going to be a lost cause here, but okay. We go to our turn track, and we go to our first night turn. And I'm going to pause right there and get a cup of coffee. Okay, so it's the night turns. And the first thing we want to do on either side is try to get the disordered units back. So let's start with the Union can go. I think what we'll do is go here, and Meade will go here, and then 2, 4, 6. Wait, there's a 1, 2. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. This guy can go here, and this guy can go here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2, 3, 4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to try to hem people in here. Slocum will go here, and okay. Then over here, I think I'll stay put here, and then we'll move those guys will be able to move across. And remember, I'm going to use these as river hexes, so they can't do anything. Okay. Now, the Confederates can go, and 2, 7, 8. Here and here. He'll move across here, and okay. Oops, I'm going to move AP Hill up into the middle here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Jackson, gonna stay put. Longstreet, we'll move here, here, here. I think everybody else is, yeah. Okay. Okay, and that's the turn. That's going to be the Confederate turn. Now we'll go to Confederate turn 2, or just the morning turn. Okay. Those guys have all done their thing. 2, 4. Whoops. Oh, first of all, we do have some units that need undisrupted. So there's them. And Stoneman. Oh, Stoneman's here. He's not disrupted. And we will move Stoneman over here. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. The idea of these cavalry units going through the woods is ludicrous, but hey, I can do it. So this guy will move here, here, and then here, and then 2, 1, 2, 3. Those guys are there. Those guys are there. Okay. Everybody's there. Okay. Now the Confederates can go. And let's try to... So these guys are all undisrupted. Now I was thinking we could build fortresses, but it's not going to really matter for these guys in the woods. These guys aren't really going to need fortresses either. I mean, this unit, they have a fortress. Okay. I guess I could build a fortress here. Seeing what we have for... that. Okay, here, Longstreet. Oh, he's with McLaws, so he's good. And I think he can have a fortress. Everybody's getting one. Longstreet. Gonna move here. These two have to get a 3 or less. 6 and 3. So one of them does. I'll just say Colston. Okay. And then over here, oh, there's no generals here, so. Okay, that's it. I think these guys can move down. So we're going to go here and here and here and here, and then there we go. I think we're good. I think everybody's done. Okay, that is the turn. So we're at the 6 a.m. turn on May 1st. Oh, and Shirts gets to go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now then, everybody's gone except... so now the Union could go. I think they've got everybody... I think everybody on the board pretty much is, except for a few of these guys, are reorganized. So we will do this and this and this and this, and then we'll do the same thing here. And, he can come in and help. Stay put here. We'll fight over here, and then 2. I guess we can go 4 and 4. And we'll try that. Well, I'm going to hold tight there. I can wait another round for them, or another turn. So, okay. Now we start with our shooting part, 1 to 3 with a 4, and I think for 1 to 3 you need a 6. Okay, here we have a 2, 4, 6 to 11, 1 to 2 with a 2, nothing. Wow, these guys roll so low. Okay, 2 and 5 is 7 to 18, 1 to 3 with a 5. 1 to 3 with a 5, nothing. Okay. Okay, that's it. Now then, the Union can fire. I think I'll go ahead and fire down here at a 8. 9 to 8, 1 to 1 with a 6. 1 to 1 with a 6 is a DR2. So back 2. Gets rid of this. And these two are disrupted. Not always clear when I talk about these disruptions. Okay, now here we have a 14 to 2. Now, technically, that would be hard to make that shot, but I'll say they can use a spotter. So 14 to 4 is a 3 to 1 with a 3. 3 to 1 with the 3 is a DR2, D1. 1, 2. And we'll delete that, and we will switch that over to a 1. Okay, over here we have a 6 and to 2. So 6 to 4, 1.5 to 1. 1.5 to 1 with a 5 is a DR2. 1. He can go, he actually, I think, because we have that 15 points, yeah, we can go 6. We need to disrupt him. He can make it. Okay. And then over here, nobody. Okay, that's it. Let's do this attack here first. 5, 9, 14 to, this is 4. 14 to 4, 3 to 1 with a 1, AR2. Okay. We go over here, and we've got a 3, 8, 14, and 5 is a 19 to 6. 19 to 6. 3 to 1 odds with a 5. I think that'll do it. 3 to 1 with 5. Yeah, that's a retreat, so this guy is gone. And then over here we have a 10, 14, 23, and 34 to 8. 3 to 1 odds with a 1. AR2. Okay, he made it. Wonder if he'll be able to slip through. Yeah, he can advance. He should say just 1 unit advances, but I'll just go with that. We'll just say here, just keep him here. Okay, and that is it for the Union player. Now the Confederate player gets to go, and first of all, we'll try to bring some guys back from the dead here. Okay, this guy, Longstreet, gets 4, so can't bring Jones back. And nothing there. Hoke's down by himself. Wofford? Man, there's nobody around. Anderson's clear over there. Okay. So let's get started here, trying to figure out 2, 4. And Iverson will be here. We'll go here, and here, and here, and then Jackson will go back here. 2, 4. Staying put here. The claws will go over here. Okay, I think I can use these guys. Nothing over there I want to do. Okay, so let's move along. First of all, the Union can fight back. So we've got a 9 to 10, 1 to 2. With a 4. Nothing. Okay, here we have a 14 to 4. 3 to 1 with a 4. And that's a retreat of 2. And we'll disrupt them. Okay. 6, he's out of range. Out of range. We can go 3 to 1 here. 3 to 2. With a 5. DR2. Okay. That helps a little bit. Okay. Over here we have a 2, 4. You can't do that. Don't know how these guys, sometimes they get stacked up here. Well, we can put him here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, this guy got messed up here too, so he shouldn't belong there. 11 to 8. So it's 1-to-1 odds. 1-to-1 with a 1 is an AR2. Okay. And here, change this to 1 and 1, and we're going back. And then I'm not going to move forward here. Okay, early is 4, to 20, 1 to 5. Shouldn't have done that because that's more than 1 to 4, which is an automatic elimination. So this guy messed up. So you can see how much I mess these up. And then finally here we have a 5 to 10, 1 to 2 odds with a 5. DR2, okay. There we go. And I think that's everybody. Okay. And that is the Confederate turn. So we go to the 9 a.m. turn. Union player gets to go, and first of all, let's rally. Who can rally? Who's got to check all my units here now? Oh, I forget this little fight here. It's a 6. That's 11 to 18. 1 to 2 with a 1. AR3. Okay. Okay, there we go. Now we're good. Okay, as the Union player, I need to get things together a little bit. Need to eliminate this guy. And this guy. And, we got a lot of disrupted units down here. So I'm going to go Duke 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Going to move him into place here. And then into place there. Okay. At this point, I'd like to go, there's 2. 1. There's 3 and 4. Okay. I'll take couch here. I'll move Hancock across. And I'll move here and here, and then here and here. Okay. And that was my 9 a.m. turn. Okay, 9 a.m. turn. Okay, now then we can attack. First of all, the Union or Confederacy gets to go, and they can retreat before combat. I'm just going to let them retreat right during this point. That's a pretty good place for them to get out. This guy has 4 against oops, he can only have one in there. So 4-3, 1-1 with a 5. DR, okay, defender goes back. So 1, 2, and these guys are disrupted. Okay. He's got a 2-5. That's a 1-3 odds with a 1, nothing. Okay, let's see here. Okay, we've got a 5-8, 1-2 odds with a 6. Is a DR2 back to 1, 2, and these guys are disrupted. That could be problematic because there's no leader in here. We need the general. Okay, any okay, now it is the Union artillery. Nothing there. This guy can shoot pretty much point blank range. 14-4. 3-1 with a 5 is a DR3. Okay, Bobby Lee, 1. He can go through here because we don't have 15, so you need 15 strength points. So really, I guess it's really hard for the Confederacy to get those points up. Okay. Now, no. Okay, now we can go down the line here. So we've got a 6 and a 5. Is it 11? And 14-10. So 1-1 odds with a 1. My gosh, they're not having much luck. This time they go back 2, 2, and 2. And we change our disruption. 1. These guys are shooting at each other, but nobody's really making much headway. Okay. We've got 4 to... That'd be 4-4. 1-1 with a 3. 1-1 with a 3 is an AR2. Okay, here we've got a 9. And 10 is 19-1. So 6-1, easy. Even with a 1, that's going to be enough to eliminate this guy because they've already been disrupted once. Okay, over here, I got an 11-2. I don't know whether to count that. 11-3, I guess. So 3-1 odds with a 3. Another disruption. So these guys are gone. Okay. And then finally, over here, we've got a 9. And 5 is 14-4. 3-1 with a 5. That's another set of disruptions. So this guy is gone. And I will move into that hex. Okay, and that's the Union turn. The Confederates get to go. Hill and his boys are going to be able to rally. Let's rally these guys first. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. And nothing there. Okay. These guys rally. And I need to remember that if you are disrupted, you can retreat before combat. The Colossus is with this guy, so... And here, these guys are fine. Wright's okay. Jackson is with Hoke, and the good side is we have plenty of Confederate leaders. Let's see, change disruption level to 0. And then here, Bobby Lee's got a 0. And then these two, we roll 4 or less. Yeah, okay, they make it. They make their saving throw. And there's that. And that. And I think everybody else is good. Okay, there we go. Now the Confederates get to move, so we're going to try to get these guys. We'll just move here, and then 1, 2. This guy will move here and here and here, and Jackson will move down here. 4. You can move there. Longstreet. See, I don't know what these railroads, whether you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then this guy will go here. This guy could move down. I'm going to say the railroad, they can move, well, they can't really do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. We're going to take a shot at them. I'm just thinking here. He can move in there. And we really need to try to take as much offensive action as I can. So, okay, there we go. Okay, now the Union can fight back with artillery, and I've got a 7, 14 to 2, so 7 to 1, 6 to 1 with a 5 is a defender eliminated. So we can get rid of him. Nothing there. These guys can't do anything. Everybody else is stuck. Okay, now then, Confederate units can go. We're going to go 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 to 6. So 1 to 1 with a 5. 1 to 1 with a 5 is a DR2. Okay, 1, 2, and he's disrupted. Okay, over here we have a 5 to 2, 1.5. And we roll a 6. Wait, let's roll it again. A 5. DR2. Okay, that is enough to eliminate these guys. And here we've got a 2, 4, 6, 7, 14. And 4 is 18 to 22. 1 to 2 odds with a 2. AR2. Okay, 1, 2. That kind of hurt. Okay. Down here, I've got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to 5. 2 to 1 odds. With a 2, 2 to 1 with the 2 is AR2. Okay. And we can delete that. And there we go. And that ends the turn. Let's see, that's the 12 p.m. Okay, we're at noon. Union gets to go. Let's try to save some guys. Okay, Slocum over here. He can just undisrupt. And Bernie's on his own. Ouch in French. There's a problem is that we're running out of Hooker still around. Okay, and down here, nobody. Okay. Okay, let's start moving leaders. Hooker is going to go here, 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 and here. And then Hancock's going to go here. Gibbon is going to go through here. And this guy's going to go to the Ford. One. We'll go there. Let's start here. We'll be systematic here. 1, 2. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 2, 4 here. Stoneman will go here. And Williams will go 1, 2, 3, 4. Sykes can't do much. We'll just move there. This guy's moved. Bernie can't move much. I think I'll move back 1. Okay, I think everybody's got to go. Now it's time for the Confederacy to fire back. Can't fire back through. I don't think they can. Well, no, it's along the edge of a hex, so they can. 2 to 10. 1 to 5. Can't do anything. 3, 4, 5 to 5. 1 to 2 with a 5. 1 to 2 with a 5 is a DR2. Okay. 4 to 2, 2 to 1 with a 4, 2 to 1 with a 4 is a DR2. Okay, and that's it. Okay, now the Union can attack. We'll start here. We're attacking uphill, so we're at a 9 to 4, 2 to 1 odds. 2 to 1 with a 2 is an AR2. Okay, here we have a 10 to 4, 2 to 1 with a 6 is a DR3. And these guys are disrupted. Okay. Here we have a 14, 19 to 4. So 4 to 1 with a 3. DR2, D2. And that's a disruption level of 1 and 1. Here we have a 9 to 2. 4 to 1 with a 1. DR2. We'll move forward. Okay. And technically this guy could move out of the way of combat. This guy could do the same thing. I mean, they really can do those because they can avoid that. And that ends the Union movement. Okay. So we go to the Confederate turn. We do a Confederate AP Hill. We need to roll 2s. None of those guys make a save. Lee can save his guys. This guy, these two, we roll for 4 and under, and they make it, so they are back to normal. Jackson, he's back to normal. The problem, too, is you can't really do that big, long journey that Jackson took, which would have made this really a lot more interesting if you could somehow simulate that. But Heath, Thomas, nothing. Ramseur, McLaws, nope. Longstreet's by himself over here. He's in kind of not a good place. Okay, now the Confederates can go. We'll stack him with Hill. And we will move south. Actually, everybody will move south 1. Except him. 1, 2, 3, 4. He can go there. Looking for guys to pick off here. Oh, this guy needs to do his little save. Let's see. 2 and 3. So yeah, that was a 3-star general. So McLaws. Longstreet's going to go save these guys. 6. Okay. And then that would be, okay, so what I can do is I can move 1, 2, there. I can move there. And we're going to move, I'm not going to move there. This is a long shot. Okay. Okay, I think I can try to at least take some guys out here. We start with our Union batteries. You can't really, I guess he can shoot down that spine there. 714 to 4. 3-to-1 odds with a 4. DR2, okay. Well, it was fun while it lasted. Okay, and then here I've got a 4. Oh, this guy. He's already fired. Okay. Union batteries, nothing. Okay, Confederate batteries. Let's see what we've got here. We can fight here. I'm just going to add to the whole thing. Yeah, we'll just do that. Okay, let's work our way across here. So I've got 4. And 5 is 9 to 10. 1 to 2 with a 4. 1 to 2 with a 4. AR2. Yeah, I was trying to get that guy knocked back, but that's not going to work. Okay. Over here we have a 4. 6 to 5. 1 to 1 with a 4. 1 to 1 with a 4 is a DR2. Where can he go? 1, 2. He made it. So barely. Okay, here we've got a 4 and 8 to 2 is 4 to 1 with a 3. And that's enough to send him to the boneyard. Okay, and in here, I've got a 5 to 6, 1 to 2. Well, actually, it's going to be 1 to, it's going to be 5 to 12, or 1 to 3 with a 4. Okay, that's not good. We disrupt and disrupt. And that's the end of turn. So we go to turn, the 3 p.m. turn. I think I'm still on track. 3 p.m. Okay, Union starts by seeing who we can bring back from the dead. Hooker with these guys. And I just realized they should be able to be eliminated by just being close to them, because they're totally batteries. Okay, there's Hooker and his crew. Okay. Okay. So we will start with, and technically these guys could blast their way through. Let's start with I guess there's defensive. I don't think there's a lot left to defend. Okay, there's 5 to 10. 1 to 2 with a 4. AR2. Okay, he moves back 2. And then here we have a 2 to 5. 1 to 3 with a 6. Oh, okay. 1 to 3 with a 6 is a DR2. Okay. Now we can go with a artillery phase, and we will start with trying to shoot this guy. So we have 7, and 7 is 14 to 4. 3 to 1 with a 1. AR2. Okay. I don't think I can back up across of there. So I think one of these guys can make it. The question is, can you do this? Somebody's going to have to give. So I'm going to say this deletes because they're going to be 2 stacked up. Okay, 5 and 6 is 11 to 2. 5 to 1 odds with a 4. 5 to 1 with a 4 is a DR3. 1, 2, 3. And we are disrupted. And then we have 10 to 2. 5 to 1 with a 5. 5 to 1 with a 5 is a DE. So this Jackson is gone. Delete. And then here we have a 11 to 2. 5 to 1 with a 5. That's another DE. So defender eliminated. Down here I have a 9 to 4, 2 to 1 with a 3, DR2. And here I have a 9 to 4, 2 to 1 with a 1. Oh, AR2, 1, 2. And then here we have a 4 and 9 to 4, 2 to 1 with a 4, DR2 with a, so this is eliminated. Okay, delete. Okay. And that's the Union phase. Now the Confederates get to go. And since I realize that this guy is here, so this is automatically deleted. Oh, and then I gotta save these guys, so he's not disrupted anymore. There's not many leaders left. Okay, McLaws is gonna, we need to roll a 2. Okay, one of these guys makes it. Longstreet is still here, and his guys come back. Okay. These guys are sunk. AP Hill's boys make it. Okay. There. Now this guy moved and took that. Couch is still sitting in the stream. I didn't move Couch out of the stream. Okay. Two, 4, 5, 6, and here. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. We'll move him here and him here. And then this guy will move in here. AP Hill. Guess he has to stop at the stream here. That guy will move out. And I mean, technically, he could move here, and McLaws could move here, and because Hooker's guys are not, they're just, they don't have an infantry, they are technically out of here, so according to the game rules. And that is it. So here we got, let's see, this guy can fire back at 7 to 8, 1 to 2 with a 5, 1 to 2 with a 5 is a DR2. Okay, that's the only, I think that's about it for the Union. I kind of screwed the pooch there. Okay, now the Confederacy can attack. 2 to 5, that's halved, so 1 to 1. And a 1 to 1 with a 6 is a DR2. So 1, 2. He's disrupted. And then here I've got 2, 4, 6, 8 to 3. 2 to 1 with a 1. AR2. Okay. Okay, there we go. And that is it. I think everybody's moved. Oh, down here. Okay. 5 and 4 is 9 to 10. 1 to 2 with a 5. 1 to 2 with a 5 is a DR2. He moves there. And that ends the turn. We go to the 6 p.m. turn. And the Union gets to go again. Okay. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to see, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, he can go there. This guy can go here, and he can go here. Actually, he can go here and here. Here. And here. And 1. He's going to have to stop there. Okay, he's against there. He's against there. Couch is against Bobby Lee. He's here. And Hancock will be with him. He's going to come back. Nope, he can't do anything. Okay. Couch will move here, and then Couch is going to go across. Okay. Artillery. I don't think there's any artillery hardly left. Nope. Okay. He's going to go back. He's going to try to go back. He's going to try to go back. He will go back. Okay, and then now the Union can go. So 6-2, 3-1 odds with a 5. 3-1 with 5 is DR2. And 1, 2. He'll move forward. That's going to be about, these guys. Okay, 5, 10. So 1-1 with a 3 is an AR2. Okay, here we've got a 9-4, 2-1 with a 1, AR2. And they are disrupted. Everybody's wearing out here pretty quick. Okay, now then the Confederacy gets to go. First of all, we can see who we can bring back. Longstreet's here, and this guy's here. Okay. We need to try to get out. I think we need to extricate ourselves here. Longstreet's going to move around over here. He can do that. 2, 3, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 6. And I gotta move 1, 1. And there. Oh, Anderson, actually, he can make the save. And then start back over here. And then these guys can try to see if they can make the save. So Anderson needed 2s or less. Hey, they made it. Okay. And this guy can't go. The only place he can go is here, which is a little safer. This guy will go with here. Lee's getting surrounded. Hold on. One. He can't go anywhere else. Nope. Lee's just going to have to. He's pretty much surrounded. This guy, I think, is gone. Everybody's gone here. He can go south 1. Yeah, that's about it. Okay, Confederate units, I don't think anybody but A.P. Hill out here is going to be able to fight. Oh, those guys. What am I thinking? And he can go over here. Okay, and then Mahone could go here. Okay, we got 2 fights left. So we've got a 3 to 2, and we get a 4. DR2. He could have actually left, gotten out of the way of combat here. Okay, here we have a 4, 8, 12 to 4, 3 to 1 with a 5. That's going to eliminate Schurz. And that's it. Okay, now then we go to our track and we get to our night turn. Okay. First of all, the Union can move. So I'm going to move. Actually, we are going to try to get everybody undisrupted. Okay, okay. Okay, I think this game's pretty much over, but I don't know, there's not a lot of Union units left. Sedgwick will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Okay, Sedgwick can go there. Barry is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Stoneman is going to go. I think we're going to go. And then he's going to go here and. Okay. Geary is kind of trapped here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And where is Sedgwick? Over by himself. Oh, I got the wrong guy here. There should be Sedgwick. Okay. And that is the Union night turn. Confederates. I'm going to try to get off the map down here. And like I said, I'm not sure I really like this game. It's kind of hard to just keep playing with it because it's just the rules are so monotonous. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. A.P. Hill's going to come. This guy could go here, and then A.P. Hill could go here, and then these guys are going to go 2, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I guess. And then this guy's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Oops, this is McLaws. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. They need some sort of after a certain turn you can try to get off the map. But 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here and here. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're scampering back to Richmond. Okay, now then, that's the turn, I think. And then we go to May 2nd. Another night turn. Oh, I forgot to move these guys. That's okay. Okay. Sedgwick brings these guys back from the dead. And I am just 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and that's the Union turn, and then the Confederate turn. Oh, I can maybe slip through. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll go here, and then Bobby Lee will go here, and then here, and then we'll go here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this guy goes 1. He can't go out anymore. Okay. And that is the night turn, the second night turn. So now we can go to the first turn at 6 a.m. and the Union gets to go. So we will let's see, we can squash this guy here. And I think we can squash Mahone. Let's try to squash Mahone. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2, 3, 4, and 4, and 4, and here, and okay, 1, 2, 3, okay, and this guy can go in 1. He's not disrupted. Okay, he can move in. Okay, let's work our way across. Oh, I forgot about these guys entirely. I guess 6 to 4. And I'll just let this guy get away. He can withdraw from before combat. Okay, over here we have 6, 9, and 5. 6 and 5 is 11, 20, 25, 32 to 4. So with a 3, that's going to eliminate him. And here we have a 5, 10, 16, 22 to 4, 5 to 1 with a 3, 5 to 1 with a 3. So he's gone. And over here we have a 9 to 2, 4 to 1 with a 3, 4 to 1 with a 3 is a DR2. 1, 2. AP Hills left. Okay, and then here we have a 10 to 2, actually 10 to 4, 2 to 1 with a 2, AR2. And here we have a 9 to 4, 2 to 1 with a 4. It's a DR2. And I assume, there we go, that's going to be a 1 and a 1. And really, I'm going to call it here. Let's see. Let's see who has more on the map. You need 4 times the units on the map. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 24. What's that? 26, 28, 30, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. And so I would need let's see, 37. 37 times 4 equals 148 units. I think that's the victory conditions. Let's see here. Oh, okay, yeah, 137. So let's see. The Union has 9, 14, 19, 20, 25, 30, 37, 46, and 10, 56, 57, 63, 68, 78. Well, actually, the Union was not going to have enough units. So I guess we'll keep going here and see how it goes. We'll see if they can shut them down. So we go to turn 9. And the Union gets to go. So we will go here and here, here and here and here and 2, 3, 4. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I guess these guys still got to cross the river. Let's see. And we have 10 to 2. Oh, this guy can fight back. 2 to 9, 1 to 4. Nope, can't really do anything. Okay. 9 to 2, 4 to 1 with a 1. That's going to be a DR2. Okay, defender 1. 1, 2, he can go back there. Okay. And then here we have a 10, 15 to 2. It's a 6 to 1 with a 6, so this guy is eliminated. Here we have a 6, 9, 15, 20, 26 to 2, 6 to 1, 5. That's an elimination. And we delete him. And then here we have a 9 to 9 to 12, 1 to 2 odds with a 3. 1 to 2 with a 3 is an AR2. Okay, he's going back. And change disruption level 1 and 1, and there we go. And actually, I think I'll go ahead and stop this. I think the Confederacy would be able to withdraw from the battlefield, but they would have inflicted a heavy enough number of casualties that I think they would have won a strategic victory on this one. I don't think the Union's not going to be able to get a 4 to 1. We might be able to pull some guys off here, but I don't know. The attrition, I'm not big on these battles of attrition, so if you've watched my channel very much, you know that you get about 3/4 of the way through and I'm going, it's kind of over. Anyway, that's what I've got today. And like I said, I'm not sure this is one of my favorite games. I don't think it's awful. I've played worse, but it's not very exciting to play, and it gets pretty boring after a little bit. So anyway, I'll come out next week. I think I've got a choir coming out in a week or two, and I've got a baseball game coming out in another week. So hopefully it'll be a little bit more entertaining than this. But we'll talk to you later, and I appreciate you guys watching. I really do. Have a good one. Bye.